we have enough coffee this morning? All right, let me hear some energy. This is an exciting event today, and the energy is just not right. You're not giving me the right vibes for today. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic. I promise to fairly, we're just waiting for a few more people. We know there's a graduation happening along the road, so lots of traffic jams. But we're going to start the program in the next 12 out them, and you might just win something a little later on, okay? So let's do some networking now. Thank you so much.
they smoke cannabis. Doctor say make a pop one of this. Make me fly like say I'm Aladdin. Come bring some kind melodies. Oh, mama, myself no do pass like this. So many things inside of my jeans. I slide down the beatings, the beatings.
let's take our seats so the program can begin. Take our seats. They through the first part of the program. Please, let's take our seats. Thank you so much. Everyone who's just joined us, please find a seat. There's lots of empty seats. I believe we're good now, ladies and gentlemen. Please, may we rise for the Zambian national anthem.
Stand and sing, O Zambia, proud and first flag of all their right. We've won freedom is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by God's good hand. Let us all our people join as one, brothers under the sun, all one, strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry. Dignity and peace need Zambia's sky. Zambia, strong and free. Praise be to God. Praise be, bless our nation. Zambia, Zambia, free men we stand under the flag of our land. Zambia, praise to thee, oh one, strong and free.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll remain standing for the opening prayer by Paul Salume. Please, let's give him a big round of applause.
Thank you very much. Shall we pray? Beauty and bounty of the earth, the soil beneath our feet, the air that we breathe, the water that sustains us, and the creatures with whom we share this world. Open our eyes to the harm we have caused already, and strengthen our resolve to live in harmony with nature. May this gathering inspire us to protect what is sacred, to act with justice and to care for creation with wisdom and love. Bless our efforts that they may.
Thank you so much. You may all take your seats. Dr. David Chikoya, the CGIAR representative to Zambia Department. Dr. Robert Zogmo, Director of Accelerating Impacts of CGIAR Climate Research for Africa. Dr. Inga Jacobs-Mata, Director, Economist at the World Bank, Technical Program Manager at the World Meteorological Organization, Regional Office for Africa. Members of the AICCRA Independent Steering Committee, Dr. of UNDP, distinguished invited guests and speakers, public servants who engaged in the consultations ahead of the Zambia National Framework for Weather, Water, and Climate Services, members of the press, ladies, and see all of you today. You look incredible. Most of you did not keep Zambian time, so give yourselves a big round of applause. I hope you're feeling energized. Agriculture, innovation, and also partnerships that are looking to scale. Today I'm really excited to be here, and I want to just shout out a few people that registered to be here because they saw my post. Thank you so much. You know, I get paid for this. So if you don't do something, they won't pay me. So how many of you came here? Because you saw the registration link. Fantastic. Give your someone today. Turn to your neighbor. Trust me, I'm a pastor's child, so I'll always do something. Climate smart agriculture means X to me. So I'll give you my example. You guys know I'm about the wood kitchen. It's a food and agriculture of sorts. You know, I'm pushing people to grow their own food. I am talking about eating clean, growing what we eat, teaching while we cook, and proving that the future of farming can be delicious and digital. Now go ahead and ask your neighbor. Justin, what does climate mean to, what was the answer? Your neighbor's answer. Do I have a roving mic? I need someone from this side. Do I have a roving mic? Climate smart agriculture means, on this side, any hand? Okay, there's a hand. We can get the other mic ready on the other side. I want to hear from someone on that side. Just check if the mic is on.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Martha Mache. I'm from DFM Agro. To me, it means growing local foods, training the farmer, and marketing for the farmer.
What did your neighbor say?
My name is Martha Mache.
No, your neighbor. What did your neighbor say? Do you remember?
Oh, she said to teach the farmer how to grow sustainably.
Fantastic, fantastic. A big round of applause. Do we have someone on that side? What does climate smart agriculture mean to you? Hey, the left side of my congregation is rather quiet. Can I hear an amen? Now get inspired to answer. Fantastic.
For me, climate smart agriculture means agriculture that's sustainable and is food that's produced minus harm to the ecosystem.
Fantastic. A big round of applause for her. Now, I made a mistake earlier, and I hear it's a mistake many people make, and it's very embarrassing for me to have made this mistake because I have worked with this institution before in 2022, and I made the mistake again. It's not CGIAR. It's CGIAR. Give me a round of applause. Make me feel better about my mistake. To officially open today's forum, we are honored to hear from a leader who has been instrumental in advancing agricultural innovation across the region. Please, let's give Dr. David Chikoya, the Regional Director for IITA Southern Africa Hub and the One CGIA Country Convener for Zambia, a big round of applause as he comes to welcome us. Another round of applause for him. He's been at the forefront of collaborative science that serves farmers and transforms food systems. An incredible gentleman we have on stage.
Good morning, everyone. Let me stand on already established protocol to give my welcoming remarks. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor to stand before you here today as we celebrate a significant milestone: the official launch of Zambia's National Framework for Weather, Water, and Climate Services. This is not just a formal announcement, it is a commitment to strengthening Zambia's resilience to climate challenges and to securing a future where climate-smart solutions drive sustainable development. Zambia, like many other countries in the SADC region and beyond, is experiencing direct impacts of weather variability. For example, unpredictable weather patterns, prolonged droughts, intense floods, and shifting smallholder farmers. And these challenges, we must ensure that it reaches every person who depends on it. And we need strong public-private partnerships to deliver these climate services. This framework is therefore designed to provide the support and structured approach to enhancing climate services and fostering collaboration among government agencies, research institutions, private sector players, and community organizations. This framework is more than stability to prepare for. It will ensure that weather and climate information is not only available, but actionable. Through this framework, Zambia aims to bridge the gap between climate science and practical implementation, making sure that farmers, businesses, and policymakers have access to reliable climate data that informs decision-making and strengthens resilience. We need to be transformative in bridging the gap between science and practice. We must ensure that farmers, policymakers, and stakeholders have access to validated climate-smart technologies and services. Access is not enough. We need to foster sustainable adoption and use of innovations. Just to remind you here that the project on accelerating impact of CGIAR climate research has been a key in promoting climate resilience in Zambia. Through its partnerships, the AICCRA project is supporting compelling climate adaptation strategies and strengthening weather, water, and climate services. This project is fostering a transformation in Zambia's agriculture and putting it on a more sustainable path. I'm thrilled to inform you that the project has reached over 2 million farmers in the last 4 to 5 years. The partners involved have ambitions even to reach more. As we officially launch the framework, we must recognize that this framework is not just a plan. It is a call to action. It is an invitation for partnerships, collaboration, and shared responsibility. Each one of us, government leaders, scientists, entrepreneurs, community advocates, and others, have a role to play in ensuring that climate services empower, protect, and support the people of Zambia. Ladies and gentlemen, together we can drive forward solutions that safeguard our future. Once again, thank you for being here. Your presence and participation will help shape the future of climate resilience in Zambia. I welcome you all to this important event, and may God bless you. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, today as we are here, we want the world to know what is going on at Radisson Blu Lusaka, at the AICCRA Public Forum. And so let's make a deal. How many of us are on social media? Wow, even the old people, this is impressive. This is truly impressive. Well, fantastic. Okay, to the old people, just in case you need to call your daughter or son or somebody to help you understand, there's a lot of young people around who will help you with this next instruction. I would like all of us to put up a post and announce the fact that we are here today. And as you do that, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever your source is, I want you to post up. Ah, great, I love this team. They're so quick. Tag CGIAR Africa and use the hashtag ready to scale. Why am I asking you to use a hashtag? Anyone know why I'm asking you to use a hashtag? Great, I love it when I need to educate a new audience about social media because it's my jam. Listen, a hashtag is so important because it's going to help someone follow the conversation. So when Inga posts and Sipiwe posts about this today, and they both use the hashtag ready to scale, whether it's on Twitter, because mostly on Twitter we are public. If you're private, it's harder for people to follow, but that's okay. When someone clicks on the hashtag, all the posts that have been made today that have used this hashtag will come up. So it will be a whole conversation. I won't just see Spiwe or John's post. I'll see everyone's post. As long as they're a public page, I'll be able to follow the conversation. So let's put it out there. Let's tell people to follow this hashtag and tag here, and we're going to make sure that we keep on retweeting whatever you're putting out there, because that's how the message goes further. If you're lazy to do this, and that's okay, that's why we're using the hashtag. All you need to go do is click the hashtag and you simply retweet what somebody else has put out so that the world can get to know what's happening here today. Is that a deal? Fantastic. I know some of you have already taken pictures. In case you don't have content, you can announce that I'm the host today. You can take out your phones. I'm joking. To give us a presentation on the journey to the national framework, I'm excited to bring on stage a seasoned sustainability and net zero expert at Mamadi. She served as project manager for the team that coordinated the national framework for climate and weather services that we are launching today, playing a pivotal role in bringing it to life. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Dr. Mudanalwo Nelwamondo. Let's give her a bigger round of applause. She's the reason we're here today. She helped in the journey to get us here today. Thank you so much.
Good morning, colleagues, the program director, for giving me this opportunity. So, my name is Mudanalwo Nelwamondo. I am the project manager for the development of National Framework for Weather, Water, and Climate Service. AICCRA and Ministry of Green Economy and Environment for giving us opportunity to develop this important framework. So I just want to say thank you so much. So in terms of the development of the framework, it was not just developed by myself, it was developed by ourselves with several specialists that are coming from Amadi, and also with consultation of ZMD and also other stakeholders. So the framework was developed under the umbrella of the Global Framework for Climate Change and for Global Framework for Climate and Services. So within the scope of work, the first thing or the first step that we took was to look at the situational analysis here in Zambia. And then when we were looking at the situational analysis here in Zambia, we did the baseline from each Ministry of Health, Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Water, and also biodiversity. So after looking at or providing the baseline or literature review, we then look at the issues that are related to trying to get all the stakeholders that are involved into the framework. And then we and also with a consultation with ZMD, we then determine the key stakeholders that are affected and also that are actually a key stakeholder that will provide guidance for this. And then the main purpose of that stakeholder engagement was to bring forth different stakeholders from government institutions, farmers association. We also look at all the sectors within Zambia. And then also what we did was also to bring forth the private companies, media, and communication. So that first stakeholder engagement took us in such a way that we start developing the framework, and then the framework was developed, the framework was then developed, whereby in that framework we did indicate specific goals that needs to be followed in order for us or us as Zambian to be combating issues that are related to climate change. And then in our framework, we also look at the issues that are related to capacity building, communication, and awareness. And then we also look at how is the project or action project that I have indicated into the framework are going to be funded. So we did list several funds that needs to be included, or several organizations that needs to be looked at in order for us to be able to get funds that can be able during the implementation of the framework. We also look at the issues that are related to monitoring and reporting, because in terms of how is it going, where are we, are there any challenges that are happening during the implementation of the framework. And then before we finalize the document, we again had a stakeholder engagement that was then to say about all things that have been determined. And then we also include all the other stakeholders from sectors for them to validate. Thank you.
Much. Ladies and gentlemen, up next, I'm going to invite Mr. Lyson Piri, who's the Principal Meteorologist, Zambia Meteorological Department. Let's welcome him to stage once again.
As you have heard, my name is Lyson, tending to other equally important national matters. And so I'm just going to give you a presentation just to give you the highlights of where we started from and where we are today. And so this is the presentation, National Framework for Weather, Water and Climate Services, Zambia. So, to arrive at where we are today, we took 5 steps, and I'm going to run through very, very quickly, owing to the time that I've been given. And so we had 5 steps, and step 1 involved planning, and the second one was the baseline and a gap assessment. Then step 3, we had the NFWCS development, and then the 4th step was endorsement of the NFWCS, and the last one, or the 5th one, was that of implementation. I think this is the stage where we are today. And so, what were our guiding pillar for the NFWCS objectives? So basically, there are 5 as well. And on my far left, we can see there's the user interface platform. And the second one was the climate services information system and prediction. And the 5th one is the capacity development. So what were the objectives of the NFWCS? Quickly, I'll just read the bullet points. So the first bullet point is strengthen institutional sector coordination and integration. And following that one is improve climate observation and monitoring systems, enhance technical capacity and human resources, facilitate the development and use of sector-specific climate services, as well as strengthen communication and awareness. What is the governance structure? So the governance structure is as follows. First, we have the NFWCS Council of Ministers, and then we have the technical committees, which are intersectorial in nature, in coordinating platform of directors. Then following that one, we have the user interface platform, where ZMD and sector experts sit. And then from there, we have now the different sectors. We have water, energy, disaster risk reduction, agriculture, food security. We have human settlement, biodiversity, healthy, the enabling stakeholders, and donors or funders. And then there at the bottom, we have the ZMD and FWCS coordinators. So I will not take much of your time in terms of explaining the schematic representation, but of course I want to believe that this presentation will be shared across the stakeholders that are here, and so we can go to the next. So we look at the value chain. Of course, right on top there we have users, government, private sector, research, agriculture, water, health, construction, disaster reduction, environment, tourism, and transport. And if you look at the interrelationships there, we can see how each of them, each of these different sectors play a part in the national framework for water and climate services. Again, I won't go into the details of that one, but of course I think it will require a bit of some time, and I'm being warned that my 5 minutes is over, so let me quickly go to the next. So that is the information system. What is this thing we are talking about? Of course, it involves water, information about water, it involves information about weather and the climate. And how does it relate to the different sectors? How do we interact into that? And so I think, again, we shall share the presentation. So the next important thing is resource mobilization. Of course, we have launched this one. What is important now is actually to see what should be done. And to be done, it requires resources. And that is the schematic presentation of what is required. Of course, for the mobilization strategy, we have to identify and engage local, regional, and global funders, develop proposals, business plans, KPIs for sustainability, and then ZMD to host the resource mobilization office. And then we also have to look at annual RMS reviews to align with changing funding priorities. Of course, there are 6 strategic goals, and I think as we can see there, I will not go through each of them individually, but a quick scan is indicating that we have those 6 strategies which we shall use to do the implementation. And so the implementation has a total budget of 31.1 million over a 5-year period, and of course it requires a lot of collaboration and so on and so forth. So in conclusion, so the NFWCS Zambia aims to build climate resilience through informed decisions. Then it also it targets agriculture, water, energy, disaster, health, and many more. Then it also seeks to strengthen collaboration across institutions and sectors. And lastly, it wants to pave the way for a climate smart and resilient Zambia. Thank you very much for your attention.
Gentlemen, this presentation is going to be available on the AICCRA website, so please feel free to go to the website and check it out if you want to get to know more about the presentation that was just made by Mr. Piri. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, to guide our next panel discussion, actually our first panel discussion on meeting the ambitions of Zambia's National Framework for Weather and Climate Services, please let's welcome Dr. Nelwa Mondo. Round of applause for her. Thank you so much. I'd introduced her earlier. She is one of the drivers of the national framework that we are launching today, and she's also going to call upon her fellow panelists.
Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to the panel, which I will be hosting. The panel is going to be implemented. So we have quite a number of panelists that are going to join me in stage, where the first one I will call Dr. Edney to come forward on the stage. You can please give him some round of applause. Thank you. And then our next panelist will be Ms. Casey, if you can come as well on the stage. The third one will be Ms. Maumo. If you can come on the stage and join the team. Thank you. From WMO, if he can join us. Thank you, thank you. And then the fifth one is Mr. Stan Banda. If he's here, we request you to come and join the team as well. Thank you. It seems like our fifth panelist is not here. So before we continue, as it has been indicated, we were developing the framework for Zambia, where we were looking at the elements of water, weather, and climate services. So in my introduction in terms of myself, I will just indicate that the framework was developed in order for us to combat the issues that are related to climate change in different sectors. So before we start with the questions or points for discussion, I will just request each and every panelist just to introduce themselves. Thereafter, we'll start with the agenda, which is related to the discussion points. Thank you. So I'll start with you, sir.
Okay, good morning. Standing African Regional Program Manager for the World Meteorological Organization. I'm located in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. I think this is enough for now.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Momo Mobila Kakoma, and I'm the manager for strategic projects and enterprise development at Bongo Hive, which is an entrepreneurship, innovation, and technology hub based right here in Lusaka, Zambia. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Cassandra Matine, and I lead the team at AgriPredict. We are an agri-tech company, and we build digital tools for small-scale farmers. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. It is an honor to be here for this wonderful occasion. My name is Ani Ghosh. I lead the thematic cluster on climate information services and safety net of the AICCRA program.
Thank you. So the first question or point of discussion is in relation to the public and also the private sectors, which I will be asking about to Mrs. Stan. We here at Zambia, do we have a system in place, or is that structure which is in relation to combination or collaboration of private sector and also public in order for us to be able to implement the framework? So we just want to understand the relationship, if it's there, or are there any challenges that we might face during the implementation? Thank you. Mr. Stan, please. Oh, okay. Sorry, Dr. Ernest.
Thank you so much. I think we're all aware the extreme weather and climate events we experience across the globe, and particularly in Africa. Just last week, I released or presented on behalf of the World Meteorological Organization the State of Climate in Africa Report 2024. And one of the issues that was highlighted has been the drought in Zambia. Last year we had state of emergency in Zambia. That presupposed there should be synergy, collaboration, cooperation among institutions to be able to deal with these issues. And so the public-private partnership becomes cardinal. And I do expect that, and I'm here to really appreciate, the organizations that are here. I had the introduction of some of our colleagues here from the World Bank and from other institutions. It is meet and proper for us to work together, because climate is not something that you're considering just for Zambia. It's cross-border issue. And they have alluded to the fact that it's important for, I just put a kind of caveat to this, particularly at the outset of the Global Framework for Climate Services. This was developed by WMO in 2013 and crystallized to become what it is through it's also fostered to work together, multi-sectoral, multidisciplinary in diverse ways, and all must work together to achieve this.
Thanks, Doc. And also just to indicate that in the framework, in terms of collaboration, and also during the consultations that we did indicate that it's very much important for stakeholders, private and also government, to work together. So thank you so much for that elaboration. Thank you. So my next, we would like to understand the issue of building data system that can actually enhance agricultural resilience during the climate scenarios or crises. Thank you. Over to you, Doc.
Thank you so much for the question. Let me rephrase that a bit based on the wonderful informative presentation that we had from the principal meteorologist, Dr. Lyson. Let's not call it a data system, let's call it an information system. So what are these information systems? So first of all, we need to understand that when we are talking about crisis-ready information system, they are not just for diagnostic, they are for supporting decisions. So take the example of IGAD's Climate Prediction Center's East Africa Hazard Watch. So they give very clearly traffic signals about what are the crises we are combating. Then one of the other points that came out quite frequently, also with Dr. Ernest, is it should be multi-sectoral. It's not about just one sector, because climate hits all the sectors, so we need to really consider they should anticipate the risk. Example is for ARC, the Africa Risk Capacity Institutes. They have the platform that basically analyzes all this data and prepares the community, prepares the countries when the the crisis is going to hit, and then what are the anticipatory reactions that need to be there. There are a few other attributes for this kind of platforms. One is definitely accessibility and localization. So accessibility is important because we all remember what happened in Zambia last year. I think the electricity was cut down to 2 hours a day. Now, if we had to provide information through these kind of platforms, then it would be a risk, right? Because only 2 hours a day, people have access to their, let's say, radio or TV, and they might choose to use something, choose to do something else during that time. So we need to have to know how we are reaching, or how the end users are accessing. The key point here, what I am trying to emphasize is these information systems need to be not for observing the crisis, but how they are helping us to avert the crisis. So they should be built in a way that they are able to support the community to go there. And that's why I was saying that we can...
Just to indicate that on the framework, there is an issue of capacity building, whereby data collection and also issue of building those information systems should be in place. So and also to farmers so that they're able. So my next speaker, or what we want to know about, or from your institution, we want to understand the technologies that you have, and also how can the farmers use it. So it's more about technologies that are there in place, and then how the farmers can be able, and other stakeholders be able to use them. Thank you.
Thank you. AgriPredict builds tools for small-scale farmers, especially those in the rural areas. And our mission really is around improving the access they have to information around agriculture. And we've just had a great conversation around access. So what we do is we leverage technology, specifically AI and machine learning, and we have developed a platform or tools that are easily accessible via USSD and mobile application that offers 5 services, including weather and early warning system, which allows them to get this vital information around weather information. So the importance about USSD is that any farmer in the rural parts of the country can access using a short code on 2 of our biggest networks in the country, and they're able to access weather information. So right now they can get 96-hour weather, 16-day weather, 30-day weather, and also what we're calling crop weather, which is a combination of extension and weather, meaning they get weather information in context of what they're growing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Casey. So I think from what she's indicating there, she's indicating that we do have some technologies that can assist into the implementation of framework. And then thank you so much. So our next question is going to Ms. Maumo, where we want to understand different ways that Zambia can innovate in terms of the technology hubs, the incubators, for them to be able to translate climatic data and also to put it into practice. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for the question. So the innovation ecosystem is made up of several players, and similar to what the first speaker said, there needs to be collaboration amongst all of them. And that's where we stand as Bongo Hive, but also any other incubator and accelerator, to kind of pull all these different resources to support the startups, the people that are innovating to provide solutions for these challenges. So one way that we support as incubators and accelerators is support the startups that come up with these solutions. And AgriPredict was actually one example, and also Green Giraffe as well. So when we worked with AgriPredict, they came out of an ideation session and a hackathon. So we do encourage a lot of those, because to solve the problems that are going on in the agriculture industry and many other industries, we need a lot of ideas, thousands of ideas, to come up with the best ideas that will actually solve the problem. So with AgriPredict, for example, came out of I would say pool of farmers to test their product, to pilot their solution, and to continually iterate to the point that, and grow. So these are some of the opportunities that we offer. Green Giraffe also came out of an idea jam, an idea session, and then further supported them, connecting to different partners within the ecosystem to be able to further develop their ideas. So I think that's one way to continue to have these idea sessions, supporting these startups to develop these tools. And I think also, so I think, yeah, maybe let me stop there for now.
No, that's fine, thank you. So before we proceed, I see that Mr. Stan from Agriculture is here. So I will just invite him to come to the stage. Thank you. So the question that we had was for the first round, and then I will also just give one to Mr. Stan with regards to the perspective of Zambia. So what we would like to find out from you, sir, we want to understand the issues that are related to climate change in terms of information, and also in terms of how is it affecting the sector, and then what is it that you would like the framework, though we do have action projects or objectives that we have indicated, that will cater your ministry. So we just want to understand from your side as well, in terms of information, how to collect it, and also what are the issues that you face in the ministry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, moderator. In the first place, my name is Stanley Banda. I'm coming in from the Ministry of Agriculture. Moderator, I would like to apologize for coming late. Just as I was coming, there was an urgent issue that popped up at the office and I had to attend to it. Apologies for that. As regards to your question, I would like to state that agriculture is one of the important economic pillars in our country. I think it employs the bulk of our people, especially in the rural areas. But as you might know, the sector is one of those that are very, very vulnerable and sensitive to the effects of climate variability and ultimately climate change. Of late and recently, we have experienced very devastating effects of climate variability, such as droughts. We have experienced floods in some cases, extreme weather events, incidents of pest attacks. All these have got a telling effect on the sector. Now, the ministry has not sat behind, but working in collaboration with other partners, we have tried to come up with adaptation activities within the ministry, so that we can make the sector, we can make the farming community more resilient to these effects. So some of the interventions that we've come up, of course, it has been in the area of coming up with appropriate seed varieties that could withstand some of these adverse effects, of course, based on the climatic events in certain regions of our country. Our country is divided in 3 regions, which have got slightly different climatic conditions. So in that area, we are pushing forward to try to make the sector resilient. We are also trying to look at the effects of droughts, dwindling water resources, both surface water and underground the water resources, by trying to come up with the locally led irrigation initiatives, coming up with dams, as well as irrigation technologies that are more suited to the farming communities. Again, in terms of land degradation, we are scaling up the issue of promoting climate-smart agriculture technologies, sustainable agriculture technologies. All that is aimed at ensuring that we make the sector resilient in the face of climate challenges. But at the center of all this, I think the sector needs the availability of climate information. We cannot plan for all these interventions in the absence of climate information. That's why, as a ministry, as government in general, we are at the disposal of all the stakeholders. On our own, it could be a challenge, so we need to be working in a collaborative manner to address some of these issues. Thank you, moderator.
Thank you. And also, just to confirm with the framework from what we have indicated, that we did put emphasis on the issues that are affecting agriculture. And then one of them, in the course, we have indicated that the issue of transferring information to the farmers is very important. And also, we also have touched on the issues that is relating to water harvest, and also practical usage of systems that can be used by the farmers, and forecasting in order for them to be able to understand before they actually plant or actually when they are planning in terms of growing the crops, and also not affecting the environment. So my next point of discussion is gonna go to Doc Ernest there again, just to provide us with the importance and benefits of the framework, and then touching base on the 5 pillars. Thank you.
Thank you so much, moderator. And it's quite obvious the benefits of this framework as downscaled from the global framework for climate services to the national level, one of which is bridging the science and what I would call socioeconomic benefits. This is a science-based action that helps us to have decisions of importance. Like my previous speaker mentioned, they want to take decisions based on evidence-based science. And this is critical. And also, we consider the importance in relation to disasters, the early warning for all, the framework to allow the synergy required for this national framework to the national adaptation plan of the country, as well as the National Planning Commission. So it is important in terms of doing things rightly when early warning is at stake. Another importance of this is that we want to enhance agricultural productivity and food security. And when we do have adequate information, that helps farmers to do the right thing. We mentioned the water resources management. When there is flooding, can we conserve the water for use? When there is drought, can we manage that water adequately, optimizing the use of the water? That's another aspect of health. Sometimes when it floods, flood water contaminates, and that impacts health. Can we manage these floods to the extent that we don't see cholera and other forms of diseases, including malaria? What about the energy sector? The information provided supports, particularly at a time when in tropical Africa we have enough sunshine. Can we harness clean energy in using the solar to really power our activities? Even in transportation, as easy as everyday people go out, you find out that there are days, I don't know, I'm not living here. There are times you have fog, that inhibit transportation. Can we get this information quite early and be able to use that? So these are some of the importance of this framework. And looking at the pillars associated with it here, the presentation we had has indicated the importance of the user interface platform. Yesterday, I was intrigued by my experience in Chibombo, where we had to sit with the farmers and other stakeholders to have interaction, to have a conversation. We listen to them to know exactly what they want. It's one thing as a provider of an information to provide information that could be generic, and another to know tailored information that the user community do want. So the user interface platform allows us to do that. Another one is the monitoring and observation. That is the foundation for all the discussions we're having. If there are no adequate network of stations to have in-situ data for analysis, we can do nothing. We cannot do prediction, we cannot do it timely and accurately. So this is a critical aspect. I'll look at the third part, which is related to the research, forecasting and modeling. I won't go into modeling just like what it was mentioned, because now with technology, we need to add the AI and ML to that. But at the end of the day is that we want research conducted to understand contemporary ways of doing things, and as well as predicting well in advance either short-range forecasting or seasonal forecasting or long-term projection. Let me come to the core of the whole. That is Climate Services Information System that embodies everything we're talking about. Because providing climate information, I'm not providing services. But when I tell him, look, you have seen rain, but this rain is a false rain. Can you wait for another 3-4 days to see if this, I'm providing additional information. That is an advisory service is causing, is the capacity building. If you don't build the capacity of people to make this observation, to make this research, and come use, then training the people adequately in contemporary technologies to be able to deliver. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Okay, thank you. I was just checking before we continue if we still have some minutes left for us. So thank you for that elaboration and the benefits and also the important thing that needs to be taken into consideration. So my next question will go to Ms. Cassie so that we can understand what are challenges have you faced in scaling climate change, climate-based innovations, and how can stakeholders collaborate to overcome them? Thank you.
Thank you. I'm really enjoying the conversations on this panel, so thank you. So we've managed to grow our user base. So we have over 329,000 farmers on our platform that represent over 5.4 million visits on the platform, with weather being the most requested, especially in the last year and a half, given the drought that we've experienced. But to scale, there's a few barriers. So one of them is poor internet connectivity, connectivity in the rural areas. That means that not everybody's able to access it at the exact time that they need it. And I'm glad that there's a lot of conversations and work that's being done around that with both the networks, and I know the government is also working around that. And then another point is technology is fantastic. I love it, but it cannot work in isolation as the conversations that we've heard so far. So we still need boots on the ground, and that opens up opportunities for collaborations. And I'm again happy that we're having this conversation with, for example, the ministries, extension officers, and at the bottom of all this, it requires money. So I think the important part is for all of us to have a shared investment for what we're all trying to achieve. Thank you.
Thank you. My next question will go to Dr. Ene. We just want to understand the experience that you have with regards to climatic data and also issues or challenges that you learned from different countries, and also just to say what was the solutions, and also how can we use it in order to benefit or smallholder farmer to benefit out of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's a very good question. And as part of the AICCRA program, I had the privilege of learning from different national hydrometeorological agencies as well as the different regional climate centers. So I'll build my responses with on what Dr. Ernest was saying. He mentioned about, for example, the lack of systematic observation facilities. That's an investment area that needs to get more funding, and hopefully the framework will enable that. But there are also interesting solutions that we saw in other countries. So there are a couple of them. For example, we have something called volunteer, climate observer. they basically have very low cost, rain bucket. But the problem is to get the data from them to the meteorological agency. So what AICCRA has done in other countries is basically digitize that process. So, it's a physical plus digital model where you are using a simple app, $2,000 for a weather station. You just need to spend few cents to get the data. Similarly, there are emerging technologies like 3D printed weather station. That basically is much cheaper option, and that allows the countries to build their own weather stations in a very limited cost. So those are some of the learnings that we are seeing from other countries. One other area I wanted to, basically two other area I wanted to very quickly touch upon. One is the user interface that was mentioned. As part of the AICCRA program, we have been also developing National Agriculture Data Hub. In Zambia, this is also in the making, and we believe that in line with the national framework, it will be able to address a lot of the requirements of the user interface development. And the last one is around the training. I'm just going to emphasize one example on enabling the farmer on how to interpret climate information. So these are some of the learnings from other countries as well as from Zambia that I think that we should be watching out for.
Thanks, Doc, for that elaboration. We have actually come to the end of this discussion. I see she has been indicating that we should finish. So thank you so much for joining me on stage in discussion of the climatic issues. Thank you.
Gentlemen, I did promise you some cash to networking during this period, taking our time in the queue to get our coffee and snacks. We need to catch up on time with the program, so I'm going to ask that we grab a quick coffee, grab a snack, and come back to our seats, and we'll continue the program as we enjoy our coffee. Great way to, be productive, right? All right, thank you so much. I'm going to give us 5 minutes, unless Reese allows me to give you another 5. So please feel free. We've got serving bays. I think to my left there's some water, and in the back, please grab something as we continue the program. Those of us that are standing, I will humbly request that we take our seats so that the program can continue. I think this has gone beyond a working coffee. As we get into the next part of the program, ladies and gentlemen, please let's turn our attention to the screens as we watch a video about AICCRA in Zambia. The coffee didn't wake you up,
Zambia,
eh?
a country of tremendous agricultural potential. Smallholder farming plays a vital role, providing food, providing jobs, the foundation of livelihoods. But climate change presents huge risks to farmers everywhere. We need innovation, tools, technologies, practices, informed by world-class science and our collective knowledge. Building on 50 years of CGIAR innovation, AICCRA scales climate-smart information services and climate-smart agriculture, reaching millions of smallholder farmers in Zambia and across Africa. More than 2 million people reached in Zambia, more than 9 million across Africa. How do we scale? The AICCRA Zambia Accelerator Program drives solutions for SMEs and investors alike. The I2G program supports young entrepreneurs through private sector's work experience to dream and deliver innovation. Millions watched the Munda Makeover on TV and learned about the changing climate and innovations to help them adapt. There's so much more, and we're only just starting. Are you ready to scale?
Great question that Evans has left us with. Are you ready to scale? Now, we all know that partnerships can be tricky. Ask anyone who's tried to be an admin of a WhatsApp group. It's a lot of work. But when it comes to building a climate-smart Zambia, the right partnerships make all the difference. Leading our next panel is a man who knows how to make big ideas happen and keep everyone on the same page while he's at it. Please welcome Evans Chinembiri, who's the AICCRA Zambia Country Lead and Partnership Pro. Evans, please take it away.
This one working? Oh, there we go. Hello, everybody. Oh, I need better than that. Hello, everybody. Those in the queue, can you hear me? Hello? Wave if you can hear me. There we go, there we go. Okay, I like that introduction. The guy who keeps everybody on the same page. I don't think that's an accurate reflection of me, but I'll take it for now. Okay, so I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the importance of partnerships. Particularly with a framework such as this one, it becomes really critical that partnerships are where it all happens or where it all dies, depending on which way you look at it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a number of our panelists so that they can come and walk up to the stage. But for me to be able to do that, I need all of you to do me a favor, okay? My favor is simple. It's really hard to look at so many faces in the room. You kind of get starstruck, okay? So I need you, as I'm welcoming these individuals to come on stage, I need you to clap your hands for them so that they feel, okay, I'm brave, I can do this. Is that something we can do? Is that something we can do? Come on, guys. Is that something we can do? All right, good. So I'm going to start introducing our panelists one by one and ask them to come on the stage. I'll start off with a man who needs no real introduction, to be honest. He's the founder and director of Kasama Arts, a creative group that disseminates and advocates for development. Mr. Peter Chanunda. Can we have a round of applause? Keep clapping until he comes to the stage, guys. Come on. Sure. Take this. My next fingerlings, for those who don't know, is baby fish, small fish. Yeah? And he's a leader of a farmer field school. Can I please help me welcome Mr. Wilbrod Msanji? Wait, we need to pause the program a little bit. Guys, we asked, okay. My next panelist is the help me welcome Ms. Evelyn Kayengu. That's what I needed. Okay, I want to seek to make markets work for the poor. Anyway, wherever you're comfortable, to connect with us and share a little bit of the work that you do and the importance of partnerships in driving some of the change that we would like to see. For me, start off by introducing yourself and then answering the question as we go through it, okay?
Hello, my name is Chinunda Peter. I'm coming from Kasama Theatre Arts. Thank you.
Whilst you're at it, Peter, I want to ask you a question. Can you please sort of share with us how a creative platform such as theatre can be leveraged to educate communities on climate change?
Okay, thank you. Cultural arts. The one that we do, we perform drama and dance, cultural dances. It translates the complex information of smart agriculture into a simpler way that will make a common community. What we do is that the drama would pick the reality of what is happening and then give to a community to understand, because sometimes when we just discuss, people don't feel it, but not until when they see it in an action way, and then they will look at, find out best they can find solutions. And at the same time, as we do this theater, we don't only do it ourselves. There's what we call theater with the people, where we would want to interact with the same farmers. We interact with the community and make sure that even when they are doing the productions, they feel part of it. They own the production, that it's coming from them. And then they will find the best solutions to the challenges that they are facing. I think I'll end here for now.
And that gives me a nice segue into the next person. Maybe, Mr. Wilbrod, maybe you can help us a little bit. Can you perhaps shed some light on what role you, in your business particularly, that partnerships can play in ensuring success in climate smart agriculture, particularly as it relates to aquaculture and your experience with AICCRA?
Good morning, I'm Mr. Wilbrod Musenshi, coming from Mansa Wapra province, the director of OPOIS, Farms and Enterprises. Yeah, the laws we are doing there to promote climate smart agriculture. First of all, we have set up the objectives. One of the objectives is exploitation of natural resources that are supporting the ecosystem. The other one is we are also promoting sustainable agriculture with a good set which is ongoing. I call it like a bad schools, a bad attitude of destroying and exploiting the nature. So these bad schools, I call them a school of exploitation of natural resources, which has been inherited from generation to generation. Then the other one is the school of destruction. So we want to address this by bringing another knowledge into the society.
And thank you for that. So maybe this brings me a nice segue to you, Evelyn. Maybe you can share a little bit about your experience with working with farmers, particularly as it relates to microfinance and how all these pieces tie together to help them access better technologies. Yeah.
So I'll start with that intro, just introducing myself as Evelyn Kayengu, co-founder and CEO of Lupia. And Lupia is a financial institution that was built to build a bank for SMEs. And if we were going to build a bank for SMEs in Zambia, the biggest sector for SMEs is agriculture. And so we had to understand this demographic. We basically had to learn everything. And so we spent basically the past 3, 4, 5 years trying to build the best credit scoring models for farmers. And while we've done that, climate change has happened. We found ourselves in a space where we've targeted the right value chains, we've extended the financing, but then what happens now when we have an extended farming or rain season? And we need to get our money back. And unfortunately, the farmer says the moisture content is still too high, and we have to wait and it has to dry before we can actually sell it. And so these are just some of them, just the credit, the agency now to realize that it's beyond, we've now understood what a soybean farmer needs and their cycles. But what happens when the rainfall has extended its periods and they can't harvest at the right time, and it's now time to collect, right? Because we're microfinance, we're the space that is going to the smallholder farmers and extending this financing. So what do we start to do? A sector like this that we've spent so much on dryers, starting to look at what is a drought report farmers and give them sensitization, extending a solar irrigation. We were coming into the space. Fortunately, or you can say unfortunately, the drought had happened, and pump was what we could help a farmer with. And so as an entity, in our small way, we've been able to sensitize farmers in how they continue to farm in times like this where there's been a drought, let's farm. But now we've moved away from a season where the wells are full, the streams are full. How do we continue to sell smart climate solutions, right? And so again, we've now transitioned a farmer to how do we look at certain resistant products, how we start to look at solar dryers. Do they need it? Do they not? And any farmer would rather wait, but if microfinance is going to win in this space and actually start to scale agriculture, which is the biggest SME sector in the economy, we need to start being intentional about looking at the entire value chain beyond when it's financing, when it's farming, when it's time to harvest, when it's time to sell, and all the challenges that happen in between, and how do we start to support farmers in this space?
I think the work that you do is commendable. I think it's to Lottie. Just a quick question, smart agriculture and empowering and entrepreneurship in Zambia, and speak to some cases of how we've interacted together.
Thank you very much. I'm coming from ID, as introduced. My name is Aloti Senkwe, where I'm the programs director. IDE is a not-for-profit organization. It's an NGO, and it's an NGO which is coming from America. That's where income and livelihood opportunities. We believe that builds markets at the last mile, which enable the poor to participate as either buyers or sellers of something. IDE does not directly interact with beneficiaries. What we do is we build entrepreneurs, we identify entrepreneurs who are at the last mile, and these are the ones who deliver what is called a market systems development approach. So in delivering, supporting a climate smart agriculture, there's a system behind it. And this system is talking about delivering solutions using market actors. So ID leverages a lot in its intervention, the privates, their money, and we also want to leverage the expertise. But what is important in doing all this is, are we delivering value proposition to the private sector? That is very, very important. In our approach of building markets at the last mile, we want to achieve two basic things. We want to develop what we call by the rural poor. We've come up with a system where we first identify which subsectors within agriculture offer the best opportunity for the farmer in terms of climate resilience, but also incomes. So ID is focusing under rain-fed. We've identified legumes, but also seed crops. So we encourage farmers to go into there because that offers a higher opportunity both for income, but also climate smart opportunities. We also, once we've identified these value chains, we then, how can the market help to solve these problems? Then we look at who is having these solutions in the market. And we then try to bridge this gap between at what we call the last mile. So these are difficult to reach places. So in building the supply network, development of an entrepreneur at the last mile becomes very important, because this is now our scale agent, but also this is also our change agent. And this entrepreneur we're building at the last mile to connect to these big companies in town, they are not doing this for free. They are also doing it because there's something in it for them. So that brings in sustainability. They know that the more farmers they can reach, the more money they can reach. The more services they are connected to in terms of companies, they know that their profitability is going up. So that is an inbuilt system which ensures that there is the resilience in the building of the market system. There is also competitiveness in the building of the market system. It's important that when you're building markets at the last mile, you are not promoting monopoly by business. So that is on the supply side. But for a market to develop, you also need to look at the demand side. And so we look at also how do we support market uptake. And over the time, we've come to use or buy into the model of village savings and lending associations, which is very important for the private sector. One of the challenges they face when they get to the last mile is how do we aggregate demand? Secondly is how do you translate this demand into effective demand? And this is where the savings becomes important. One of the biggest challenges we have with our small-scale farmers, sorry to say, is also around mindset. So there's this culture of your game right. So farming as a business, to talk about self-reliance, to talk about financial lessons, so that people begin to understand that if you want to succeed in farming, you have to take it as a business, and there are certain practices and conducts which have to be adhered to. This platform is also important because another challenge farmers face at the last mile are to do with
issues you raised. I think now is a good time to stop. And I want to thank all of you for making the time to share a little bit of your expertise and your experience. Colleagues, help me get a round of applause.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause. Thank you so much to our panel. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment. Please let's give him a big round of applause on stage. And we would like to welcome our Permanent Secretary to the AICCRA Public Forum. We've been having some great and powerful conversations on innovation and climate-smart innovation for smallholder farmers. Thank you to our audience who've been sharing online. I can tell that you've been sharing. Me to call upon the Permanent Secretary to give us some remarks. Please let's give him a big, big welcome and a round of applause.
Which mic? Okay. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I must say I'm very happy to see that there's a full house here for this event. I'm very encouraged because climate change now is the biggest issue. It's a very good thing. Previously, we used to explain the meaning of climate change. But since 2024 here in Zambia, I think there's no one who needs to explain what climate change is, and doesn't have to be here himself, but he's attending to other duties. So Your Excellency of Ministry of Agriculture, Development Program, International Water Management Institute representatives, senior government officials here present, Director of the Meteorological Department, Director General of the Water Resources and Environment, National Limited, Partner Food Program, just chat. Okay, let me just say GIZ. I'm not able to pronounce the German meaning of it. Stakeholders from the public and private sector, academia and research institutions here present, members of the user community. You are the most important in this. We and our partners can do all these things behind the scenes, but if you, the end users, do not see the effect of these tools on the ground, then we will have failed. Members of the media here present, we recognize you, the Director of Programs, Ms. Lulu Hangala. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a great honor and privilege to officially launch the National Framework for Climate Services for Zambia. This is a groundbreaking milestone in our country's quest to build resilience, drive inclusive development, and achieve environmental sustainability in the face of the changing climate. Ladies and gentlemen, Zambia stands at a pivotal moment. We are a country with vast agricultural potential, boasting over 42 million hectares of arable land, yet only 15% is currently cultivated. Agriculture is the backbone of our rural economy, providing livelihoods to the majority of the people. However, the sector, like many others, is increasingly under threat from the changing climate. In recent years, Zambia has faced devastating droughts and destructive floods, with ripple effects across all sectors of our economy and society. While agriculture is often the most visibly impacted sector, climate change is not confined to it alone. Energy, water and sanitation, public health, biodiversity, disaster risk reduction, infrastructure, human settlements, and tourism are all feeling the strain of rising temperatures and erratic weather patterns. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is why today's launch is so significant. This framework is not just about better forecasts or stronger observation systems. It is about fundamentally redefining how we use climate information to guide decisions across all sectors, from powering our homes and protecting our health to ensuring vulnerable communities build resilience through early warning and preparedness. Distinguished has developed the Green Growth Strategy, a transformative policy blueprint resource-efficient economy. Climate resilience in this framework is fully aligned with the vision of the Green Growth Strategy. It provides a practical mechanism to translate our policies into results, making climate information this framework is action of our 8th National Development Climate Change Policy and acts and aligns with our international commitments. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the development of this framework is a story of collaboration and national ownership. It was spearheaded by the Zambia Meteorological Department in leadership at the international framework. I extend sincere appreciation to the strengthening climate resilience of agricultural livelihoods in agroecological regions 1 and 2, the CGIAR project, funded by financial support to the 4 provincial consultation workshops and co-sponsoring the national stakeholder validation meeting. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, importantly, we recognize the World Meteorological Organization. Its global guidelines under the Global Framework for Climate Services served as the foundation for this process. WMO provided technical support to ensure that Zambia's framework meets international standards. We are proud to have developed a framework that reflects both global best practices and national realities. This framework is hosted by the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment and will be overseen by the Council of Ministers. It's including representatives from sectors such as agriculture and food security, water, energy, health, disaster risk reduction institutes, built around 6 strategic goals that include 1, for analysis and forecasting, 2, build technical capacity across all climate-sensitive development planning and policy making. 4, promote research, modeling, and forecasting innovation. 5, improve the dissemination of climate information and early warnings to the last mile. This one is crucial. We have to reach the last mile. Impacts, implementation, coordination across ministries and sectors. 2, resource mobilization from national budgets and teams. 4, human capacity development for weather and climate process. And on partners, academia, and civil society to align your support with this investment in early what is possible. Through our collaboration with the CGIAR and the AICCRA project, that is the kind of impact we want to scale up under these ships. It is designed to foster collaboration, transparency, accountability, informed, actively. With these few remarks, it is now my singular honor and privilege. With these few remarks, it is now my singular honor and privilege to officially. I thank you for your kind attention.
Dr. Chibamba, thank you so much for being here from the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment. Right now, I'm going to call upon Winnie Kasokapele, the coordinator of AICCRA Zambia Accelerator Program, to hand over the official document. A big round of applause. Have a gift presentation from Dr. Inga Jacobs Mata, who's the Director of Water Growth and Inclusion at the International. Yes. One more picture, sorry about that. And Secretary, as he steps away, he has a very busy schedule. And we're so grateful that he could be here with us today. A big round of applause. DJ some music.
Program is all about. So, patient services risks with promote social inclusion and the CGIAR implementation of advisory services and also networking opportunities in form of multi-stakeholder dialogue. So I have a very powerful panel who works at Better World Innovation as a training coordinator. Please give up a big applause. Innovation is 1,000, including the use of platform called Harvest Time. Maybe Francis Banda is an experienced aquaculture manager. With a strong focus on sustainable fish farming, inclusive business models, integrated aquaculture systems in Zambia, and is currently managing operations at the Toda Rubber Farm in Luapula Province. Last but not the least is Mwiche Mukoma, the CEO and founder of Green Giraffe. Yay! She wants more. Yay! So Green Giraffe is one of the innovators under a program we call Innovation and Intention Process, where they emerged as winners, the top 3. Yes, and then thereafter, they went into a process of developing their ideas into the actual product and their products are out behind there. You'll see them at some point. So that's my panel. So, ladies and gentlemen, this panel I have here, in case you haven't noticed, is young, youth, and women-centric. It's a very powerful one. We are going to discuss how private sector is reaching more farmers with innovations in climate services. So I'll start with you, Vene and Mwiche. What's the vision of your organization, and what are you trying to achieve? Maybe we can start with you, Vene.
Thank you so much for that question, Winnie. And before we get started, a shout out for all the women and the youth in this room. Can I see your hands? Yes. Thank you so much for being here. Well, the vision behind Better World Innovations really is to improve the standard of living of underprivileged communities using innovations and also business models that are able to address the socio-economic challenges as well as the climate crisis. And really, we want farming for smallholder farmers to be profitable and not the chipante traditional way. You know, a farmer should be able to maximize an acre, a small piece of land, using climate smart techniques and practices, and increase their yield as Better World Innovations.
All right, thank you very much. Mwiche.
Thank you so much for that. Hi, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Say green giraffe. Green giraffe. No, it's not loud enough. I agree with him. Say green giraffe. Green giraffe. Packet of cornflakes. For those who love cornflakes, I'm a farmer, yeah? And anyone who's tried farming knows that when you put in certain inputs, even if you sell it, a livelihood from agriculture. And it kind of makes sense that that sector only contributes to less than 6% of our gross domestic product. So for me, who loves food, and by the way, please visit the Green Giraffe table, you'll see we have 30 snacks. So that's a side note. I tried to get myself a packet of cornflakes, and I was shocked. At that time, this is 2021, a kg or a meda of maize that I had harvested, by the way, using regenerative agriculture, went for less than 20 kwacha. Yet a packet of cornflakes was going at 150 kwacha. This is the same year. At that point, I had epiphany. I know agriculturalists will say we've been saying this for some time, but I was like, value addition is the key. So how do I get smallholder farmers to add value to something they're already producing and then connect it to a market? Because again, in that same year, there was a report that even though farmers have been given lots and lots of workshops and training on regenerative practices, the minute the incentive was removed, 95% cut off. They stopped doing it. So I was like, the only way I can keep this incentive going is if it's embedded in the product. So we did our research. Trust me, we tried a number of things, and we found 30 decadent, locally sourced snacks right here in Zambia that people appreciated. We then went back, trained those farmers on regenerative practices, because remember, at this point, it's just a theory. And we found that, guess what? Confirmed that we have premier snack service. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mwiche. That's a mindset of an innovator, ladies and gentlemen. Francis, briefly tell us about your experience with AICCRA, Zambia, and also just how your journey has been as a young business leader.
My journey, it's on? Okay. My journey with AICCRA has been really I've really transformed as a person, because I was there in the first cohort and there in the second. I have learned a lot. I've been taught on business modeling. I've interacted with experts from around the world that have helped me see the intersection between climate resilience and agribusiness. I used to learn at NRDC just there. So I used to pass by this road and I used to look at reds and blue. Like one day I'll find myself there and today I'm here. So, and I've met a lot of people, professors, doctors, people who are in the agribusiness. I've learned a lot. And AICCRA has really helped me, the Munda makeover. We're talking about critical thinking in the rural context. So when talking about climate solutions, you have to understand where the farm actually comes from and how they have been surviving all along.
Thank you, Francis. Francis is a young, dynamic aquaculture specialist, and he's only, do you mind me telling them your age?
Yeah, it's okay.
We want to know.
No, for you ladies, don't mind. Never, don't worry. I know that's a sensitive issue. I can never do that to you. But Francis is, thanks, Francis, for that. Bene, please tell us in terms of your experience as Better World Innovation under the Accelerator program.
Our experience has been very transformative, I must make mention, because we started out as Bando 5, where we were promoting gender equality and social inclusion. So with support from AICCRA and International Water Management Institute, we were able to scale up our efforts in reaching out to more farmers in climate-smart agriculture. And so we strengthened two things you mentioned, which is the Harvesty application. So we identified these very proactive lead farmers in communities who were trained in climate-smart agriculture techniques and practices. And we used a training manual that was developed, literacy, and also they were empowered with the application. So this mobile application is able to advise the farmer when to plant, able to give them weather information according to the area they're at so they can make an informed decision. So with that approach, these lead farmers were the game changers of their communities, because you agree with me, if you want to make a change in the community, you have to work with those that are close to the community as who are taking those innovations to the community. So we trained about 100 of these agribusiness advisors and also empowered them with the mobile application so that they may go out there and train more farmers where they're coming from. And we found that this actually worked because farmers were able to adapt. I'll give an example. Through our partnerships with companies like Hollard, we are channel partners, and when farmers see a lead has worked very well, and really AICCRA provided us with a platform to be innovative, to be inclusive, and also to make an impact.
That's very nice and interesting. Is the app still on the mobile application?
So it's only on Android at a Play Store. It's called the Harvesty application.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if you want to have access to that app, you can just see Bene later to give you in terms instructions of how you can get it. It's very easy. So Mwiche, just give us in a nutshell your experience in the internship and innovation grant.
Okay, thank you
so
so much.
Which is commonly known as I2G, in case you just hear the abbreviations I2G.
Okay, so the program is the I2G Challenge under AICCRA, and it was held in conjunction with Bongo Hive. So we first started with a design sprint. I heavily recommend this for any business startup, only because I really saw the benefit in analyzing the problem through bigger lenses. From that one, we came out top 3, and from there, we were able to build the landing page. Now, a lot of people might be asking, what can you do with a landing page? That landing page got us into the tech space. As you know, with tech, everything is exponentially better and bigger, and the numbers are better. So through that landing page, we were able to join into our e-commerce site. But this is the most exciting bit. Remember at the beginning when I talked about being able to trace this snack from the farm to the fork? So because of that landing page, we were able to raise further funding. This only happened because of the problem that we were able to analyze during the sessions. And now, if you scan one of our products, by the way, there's a whole panel there. They would love to answer your questions. We also got a website. They're waving. Guys, wave at them. They're looking so nice. Yeah? So you can scan each product, and it will tell you the batch, where it came from, the transporter who brought it here, the packing center, and the ingredients that are used in it. All this happened, believe it or not, because we were part part of that program. We're also able to win 2 awards. Please clap for us. We won Tech Trends in 2023 and Sustainable Agriculture for the Gastronomy Society in 2024. Now, awards, everyone says, does it really mean much? Again, you have to understand, when we walked into AICCRA, this was a problem, a fantasy. It was a theory at best. Now, 2 years later, we've been able to empower over 200 farmers in regenerative agriculture, establish the traceability system, and we're currently in only 30 stores in Lusaka. Our goal, once again, is to make this available across Zambia, but inevitably, we wanted to be able to export it to the world to show that traceable, locally sourced snacks can actually provide a solution for the different problems that we're facing. Thanks.
Interesting. I hope the young ones in this room are listening to this. So dreaming is allowed. That's where your ideas come from, and see where Green Giraffe is just by starting with an idea and see their products from an idea. This is very impressive, eh? Francis, please what do you think in terms of young entrepreneurs? What role can they play in building climate resilient smallholder farming systems?
You know, like they say, when visitors come to your house, they'll see all the cobwebs that you don't see. So, as the young people, we bring a fresh perspective to things because we are trying to figure out our way into the world. And our access to technology, our ability to, we're also risk takers because we're young, our appetite for risk is better. So as young people, we can help smallholder farmers in that, like for example, I can give in my case, I was born in Lusaka, grew up tertiary, everything in Lusaka, but I moved all the way to northern province. I moved to Kasama where I have been, and I've lived among the farmers, right there in the farms. Not I live in town, not at the farm. You've been to the farm where we stay, you see how far it is. So making that move has been very helpful for me, in that your solutions to the farmers are driven by understanding where they come from. So when you're making technologies, you meet them where they are. Some farmers who can't afford certain technologies, but that doesn't mean they should be left out. Some of the things that we've done, I think Mr. Mulenga over there, Mr. Felix, he's the one that helped me learn Bemba. One of the things we did was to actually help adding grass in their dikes. So a dike you don't put in grass, because the grass will rot, and it will make the walls of their ponds weak. So when flood comes, the whole pond will go. So that kind of technology doesn't require money, but it requires someone who has the expertise to help the farmers know what they should do. Also, one of the other things we did was to, funny enough, there was no sex reverse fingerlings in the north. And having access to the hormone to do the procedure was difficult. So we had to come back to Lusaka, then we had to make the formulas and help the farmers have access to sex reverse fingerlings, which will increase their productivity, which in itself is a technology. And now we moved on to greenhouses, where we do the incubation. We're moving on to tanks. We built the greenhouse. We thought we solved the problem, but unfortunately, we forgot to factor in something, which we've learned now, that you don't just build the greenhouse and think you solve the problem. You also need to add in cooling and heating systems that can ensure that the temperature is right for the fish, that you can do your propagation or by propagation I mean production of fingerlings and seed the whole year. Right now we have closed because it's cold, and we have a greenhouse. So now I've learned, no, we need to get a heating and cooling system. That's expensive, but we understand that having that technology will benefit the farmers in that they'll get very good fingerlings for their yields.
Wow, so much knowledge there. I wish I was the youth of nowadays. They're so brave and innovative. At 27, I think I wasn't thinking of such, I think I was getting married or something, busy getting married. Yeah. Wow, this is so impressive. Vene, please, can you tell us in terms of how small and medium enterprises, agribusinesses play a role in addressing the climate crisis?
Okay, so in addressing the climate crisis, when we say climate crisis, sometimes it seems like this distant problem, But in Zambia, it looks like a farmer not harvesting well. It looks like unpredictable rainfalls. It looks like a farmer not knowing what type of seed to plant at that particular time, or not knowing when to plant. And that is where we as SMEs come in, because we are in direct contact with our communities. We're able to see firsthand their struggles and also make a change. So really, we are in the front line, and in whatever way, it could be providing bundled services, it could be providing information, or providing a space for women and youth to lead. And what we have learned is that you really don't need a big corporation to make a difference. Every small act does count. Like
Mwiche, your tagline, I love it. Zambian flavor in a box. That's their tagline, by the way, Green Giraffe tagline.
You need to say it over and over, then it becomes
Maybe,
true.
can we say it? Please.
Repeat after us. Zambian flavor in a box.
Wow.
There we go.
Wow, thank you. How are the tastes and demands of Zambian consumers changing?
I love that question so much. You have no idea. I think I was up the whole night thinking about it. So number one, Lulu Hangala, thank you for confirming wherever you are. She has a beautiful page that has transformed the way we look at Zambian food. It's wild, Komako is here. I don't know, in the past, especially when I was younger, whenever anyone said this was made in Zambia, it didn't bring me a sense of pride. It felt like it was half effort, half processed. But in the last 10 years, this ecosystem has just changed the way food is. Mabuyu now has ginger and color. And mangoes are not only eaten in mango season. You can dry them, you can pickle them. Suddenly, food has flavor. And to be able to be part of that, generations to come. Because remember, we're not as good as cashew nuts. And you should try it as well. I should have that confidence. But how will I have that confidence if I don't have farmers back home who are growing this product? If I don't have chefs who are playing with this product? If I don't have a culture that's proud of this product? And so what's really been exciting is the movement that it's bringing about. And not to be the only one, but to be the one of millions of other people who are enjoying it and sharing it and growing with it. And so I'm really excited for the future.
Wow, interesting stuff. Wow. Francis, I'm so envious of you, Francis. You must know that. 27 people.
Well, that's a question that keeps me up at night. What's next for me? I've done all this. I need to do some things. What's next for me? The position where I find myself is where, for whatever I'm doing to succeed, the farmer has to succeed. So scaling to survive, trained professional, telling farmers, okay, as you have your fish ponds, also adding other crops. So right there at the farm, we want to demonstrate to the people what we're talking about. Now, it's easy to say certain things like, oh, let's do this, but when you actually go there and actually do them, so there's that practical where we are watering chilies, where we have right now harvesting some cassavas, want to test tomatoes, want to test onions. So with aquaculture enterprise is value for the next. So we have broiler chickens. We're using the manure to feed our chilies. We're using it to feed our onions and our vegetables. And that's the message we want to send to the farmers, so that in terms of a climate disaster, the farmer needs to bounce back. Now, how do they bounce back? Well, if they have a goat to sell, to buy a pump, to help them irrigate. If they have some tomatoes and cabbages for bread and butter issues, that can help them cope with the crisis. And also having a diversified agricultural activities, each one of them should have different risk profiles. So cassava, drought resistant, requires less labor. Things like onion, they bring value, they bring cash. And having survived 3 climate events, the droughts, the floods, and the uncertainty where it's cold season but it's hot. You don't know whether it's hot, so you know it's cold. Access to cash becomes very critical. So small ruminants like goats, goats, become more resilient. So the IAA is where I see myself next, where integrating different aquaculture systems together and scaling them out to the farmers.
Wow. Ish, Francis, I can't keep up with you. Like, I'm done. I can't even keep half of the stuff you've said, so I don't know. So maybe I'll just leave you alone with your stuff. Let me concentrate on what I know doing best. The national framework for weather, water, and climate services was just launched by the PS of Green Economy. How do you think, how does this framework help you deliver on your ambitions?
You know, the framework that has been launched aligns perfectly with farmers using climate smart techniques. But what the framework does is that it creates this backbone that we can lean on, that is backed up by the government, to be able to even reach out to more farmers. You mentioned to say we reached out to more than 59,000 farmers, for a farmer to be able to make an informed decision.
Thank you, Bene. Mwiche, are young Zambians business savvy? How could they reach their potential?
And I like that question. Young Zambians, are we using Keke?
Maybe let's say...
Francis mentioned it best. Is this generation tech savvy? If there's anyone who can figure out how to use technology to tell the weather, market the product, connect to the farmer, and somehow raise funding simultaneously at the same time, it is this generation. I do think, number one, a lot of guidance is needed, and I like how he mentioned it. You have incubations like I2G, which, by the way, I hope we're still funding this. The powers that be.
There's the lead. She's asking for funding this.
We'll pass a plate around. There's collaborating with Bongo Hive, incubations. Again, because like he said, it starts with the idea, but you need 1,000 things to go right for this idea to really have impact. You need buy-in, to her point, from technology. You need people who've gone before. You need people who've been in the sector before. So I do think they are savvy enough, but we also have to really apply ourselves to what's an issue there. But this...
So have the mic, which just your last words. How can you support, by we I mean us here, the researchers, academia, everyone in the room. What do you think? How can we support the SMEs to scale climate smart innovations?
Okay, number one, I love that currently you have a mentorship system. Yeah, because how will they know that it actually works? Definitely more collaborations. A lot of information needs to be marketed. I love the hashtags. You have no idea the influence that social media has, not only on people in Lusaka, because remember, all of us are physically here. Lusaka is not Zambia, and Zambia is not Africa. But this can be exponentially made by lots of communications. Also, just like I said, the program, I really hope it's coming back, because I thought it gave us a really safe space to try and fail and try again. I don't know if that makes sense. So definitely a lot of support for that. But thank you so much.
Ben, the same question goes to you. How could we support SMEs to scale climate smart technologies?
It's like she was reading my mind. But I would sum it up in three things, really. Number one, access to funding. We have a lot of SMEs that have the great ideas, mentorship and knowledge. We need to empower SMEs. We need to train them in how to make the social impact, but also how to make profit for the company. And as Better World Innovations, we have so many services that we've been able to take out there through partnerships. We've partnered with Plant Catalyst and Hollard as channel partners to actually sell their products to people out there in the rural areas. So I would sum it up in those three things.
All right, thank you so much. So great minds think alike, hey? I'm even scared to go to Francis, because you just... Francis, the same question for you. What do you think, how can we support the SMEs to scale the climate smart innovations?
Thank you. Firstly, I'd like to appreciate, this is CGIAR. I was picked from school by...
CGIAR.
I failed to pronounce it. Because I was picked from school.
Don't pronounce it, just say the letters as they are.
Through Wildfish, I was picked straight from school as an intern, and I was trained a lot. So most of the knowledge I had, thanks to the CGIAR. I always try to pronounce it.
CGIAR.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I would appreciate them on a personal level for taking me out there, exposing me, training me. I've been exposed to a lot of trainings on financial modeling and all that. One lesson I've learned from that is when you help the farmers, is help them with access to market, because some farmers have, to whom it may concern farming, where they farm, they have the produce, and they don't know where to take it. If they go to, like the story was mentioned, where you go to supermarkets and they have a certain standard and you fail to meet it, and they'll just become theoretical solutions. Because you invest in the greenhouse, you invest in irrigation systems, you invest in this, you have the product, where do you take it? So access to market, that's one of them. And also helping our farmers have tailored solution to the problems they face. Because I can give an example, I'll keep it short. For example, the fish that is grown in the North Rapula and the fish that is grown here, they're different. Their timelines, their time frames, the investment, the yield, they're totally different. But you find that the requirements and the regulations and the best management practices are the same. So they expect the farmer here who has access to a better performing fish to have the same yield as the farmer that side. So, but having localized information for the species, even for the IAA I'm talking about, what crops are better used for integration with our farmers. So that's the support that AICCRA can give.
All right, thank you so much. We've come to the end. We're entertained, yeah? Oh, nice. Thank you so much. I want to be a youth. Yeah, like, I don't, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that. That was fun, wasn't it? Also very inspiring to the young and the old. At 60 and 70, still time for you. Now we're going to go through what I'm calling my walk and talk. So don't mind the fact that I'm not going to be on stage. You can now pay attention to this side. I am going to be talking to some SMEs. This isn't just about talk, but it's also about traction. Celebrating the SMEs that are turning climate goals into reality. So the first SME I'm going to speak to, do we have the roving mic? Oh, sorry. I will be back to you, sir. Okay, so the first SME that I'm going to be speaking to is going to be represented by Nelly Nkoma Piri from Zawad, and I would like you to just introduce who you are, what you do in 2 minutes.
Wow. Actually, I was told 5 minutes. Nevertheless, my name is Nelly Nkoma Piri from Zambian Women in Agriculture, Research and Development. So this is just a network of women who came together to do some research and development in agriculture. So at first we were just doing agriculture related things, but we went out of there because of the demand from different women who wanted to join us. So why we are here today, AICCRA came in and approached us if we could do some project with them. So this is where we matched them with emerging farmers, and these are women farmers. So we taught them, those ones who are teaching, the others are called mentors, whilst the others are called mentees. So we taught them to exchange technologies, what is making them to make money out of that. And then after that, talking to these children to, in terms of career development, most of them, they think agriculture is not fun, yeah? So we have to get people from town, like we heard from the other youth, to go and work in rural areas. And yet we have agriculture, and Zambia at the end of the day will develop where agriculture is related. Thank you so much. I hope that was 2 minutes.
Nelly Nkoma Piri. Oh, no. Sorry, that was Nelly there. Miss Sayoa Mubita, please.
Good afternoon, innovative startup backed by AICCRA, I2G Accelerator Program, and Zambia Research and Development Center. So Smart Organic Farmers basically promotes organic input use, hence, and also maximizing on space usage. So we have some hydroponic systems and vertical systems that help farmers maximize on space with maximizing in water efficiency and nutrient efficiency. And then for our organic fertilizers, they not only provide, so basically that's what we do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. A big round of applause for her. Definitely seeing products that I could use in my organic garden. Love it. Up next, we have Mr. Kennedy Mafinge. Please.
At Komako, back in the villages, rural areas. So the products that you're seeing, the conservative rights of pick and pays. So the goodness with the numbers that we're working with, the numbers are growing, and the farmers are appreciating the fact that they don't need to live a destructive kind of life coming from. We have our honey that comes from the honey hives, beehives that we just hang around the forests. We have the mushroom, the dried mushroom that they are able to gather in the fields that they are protecting. So the whole model is now being appreciated in Zambia. We are in 4 provinces now. We're doing Eastern, Muchinga, Central, and now we're getting into Southern Province. So with your support, helping us grow the numbers. So we are yet to get into all the 10 provinces in Zambia. That's what we do. Thank you.
So much. A big round of applause once again. We have highlighted the real impact and innovation. Thank you so much to Komako, the agro-processors working with rural small-scale farmers, to Zawad, who are capacity building for women researchers and smallholder farmers. And finally, we also spoke to Smart Organic Farmers, who are producers of organic fertilizers, pesticides, and hydroponic systems. Up next, we are shifting the spotlight to the people at the heart of this movement, our farmers. The next panel is all about real stories, real challenges, and how innovation is transforming lives on the ground. And to lead this conversation, we are joined by a passionate leader in the climate smart agriculture.
Welcome, everyone. So, how many people ate today? If you ate something, put food in you ate. If you've eaten, a farmer, a person, who grew as the gender, the least, Felix, Purpose Cooperative. But they create the environment with climate smart.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Belonging to the Chitetezo Federation Cooperative, which is encompassing 62 cooperatives coming together to producers of those products you have seen Kennedy talking about. My farm programs and making use of them and practicing them on my own farm. Just on that one, practicing the climate smart agriculture, it has transformed many farmers, my community, our cooperatives and farmers, for being trained, being transformed,
So we'll pass the mic to Felix. I would want to go to Felix. So how is your farm a climate smart one?
Thank you, Miriam. I'm sure we've been in Northern grateful to have this opportunity to be different from other farms, because what we used to is to dive aquaculture. As a cooperative, we are in 3 main sources of projects. We are in agroforest, we are in crop production, we are also in aquaculture. If you agree with me, Miriam, all these projects required different, better management practices, which is not easy to manage, but we used to ensure and make sure that we apply all these methods that help make our farmer look different, or our farm look different, are linked. Whom we are training, visiting, share ideas, also help them apply the same methods.
Let's hear from Caroline. How's your farm climate smart?
Thank you. As you have heard, I'm Caroline Mwanza from Central Province, Chibombo District. I am a lead farmer and I'm reaping at my farm. And I don't just grow maize alone, I grow different crops at my farm. My farm is not sorry. I grow different crops from my farm, and I don't just wait. I adopted conserve water every time.
Thank you so much. Felix, your method of farming is a little different from Caroline and Esther. Tell us about what you farm.
Diversified, sure to make it be attracted to come and learn from required in aquaculture, also management required on agroforest, in crop production. All these technologies required me to work extra hard in order to help my farmers also apply the same technology.
Okay, Felix does not only, he grows, he's involved in aquaculture, which is fish production. Esther, I'll come back to you. We've seen the worst droughts in Zambia. Have you seen?
Change is real. And we were the most people were affected. My district in Nyimba, where I'm coming from, was the worst district which was affected by this drought which affected Zambia the previous season. And my community have really come to understand and learn, just as the minister said, that we are no longer preaching for drought or climate change. It means when we say climate change, because the drought affected each and everyone within Zambia, and especially my community.
Okay, very interesting. I'll go to Esther, Caroline. The plant catalysts, stack arrays. What did you learn from them? And
other businesses, partners, IDE linked me to stack arrays, where I'm able to access vegetable seeds through the FBAs. And again, IDA has also taught me about conservation farming, where I do potholing and dipping and mulching. And again, I'm able to access plant catalyst through the FBAs, and plant catalyst has helped in enhancing the crops grow. And again, from Koteva, I'm able to buy their seeds through the FBAs, and their seed is drought resistant. And IDE has also taught me to grow different crops in my farm.
Is there anything they learned from you?
Yes, they have learned, because after they teach us, no, this one is doing well, and they are learning from us.
Okay, so they were able to see that their innovations actually do work in real life. Interesting. I'll go to you, Felix. How has integrating other types of farming like aquaculture helped you cope with climate change, and how has it improved your income?
Thank you, Miriam. I think that is the interested part of all this we are talking about, because as farmers, or entrepreneurs, what is important is to retain after investment. So by applying all these methods, Miriam, it has been helpful to me, even to the entire community members that are copying what we are trying to do to cope with climate change. And these methods has been able to help us optimize resources use, which has resulted to reduce wastes and improve overall our livelihood. So if I enter into applying and using stocks to help improve soil fertility, how to use water from the water ponds, water our garden in this way, and also improve in a source of incomes. We have a good number of streams of source of incomes. Because look at myself, I have grown beans, I've grown maize, I have fish, I have what. So when it comes to sell, I just choose what I want. I sell, I have money, I put in my pocket. So these are the benefits of applying these technologies we are talking about.
Interesting indeed. Okay, so I'll come back to Esther. Esther, you mentioned about how your community is affected by climate change. How did the practices and innovations you adopted address these challenges?
Thank you, Miriam. My challenges have been addressed by practicing climate smart agriculture. Through AICCRA, IMWI, Komako, because what I've been learning and what on my farm. And to your surprise, my neighbor, who is just very close to me, the same rains, the same drought, but me, I managed to, what I've been taught and what I've learned, how to do intercropping, agroforest, crop diversification in my field has really helped me to overcome this challenge of drought.
Let's hear from...
Thank you. It has changed my life because I'm using climate smart agriculture. My life has changed. I'm able to make money to send my children to school, and I managed to build a house through the same climate smart conservation. And I use solar at my house. I even bought a television set. And I even bought a water pump before using irrigation, which I'm using right now.
Wow, wow, wow. Caroline has achieved so much from farming. Who said farming is not a business? She's making so much out of it. Esther, you've traveled the world telling people about your farm. What was the most exciting opportunity you've had?
Visiting other countries, it wasn't just for pleasure, but it wasn't known, and even NGOs to know that we have farmers who are producing the end result, it's us. Or where everything starts from, it's from a farmer. We are here because we have all eaten. We are here because all of us, we have got shelter. This means that a farmer is the beginner of everything. And traveling into other countries, most of them, and they really understood and took opportunity to talk to me privately. Some of them, they even visited my farm to see what exactly I explained to them what we are doing as a community or as farmers on the ground. And the support we receive from our partners, they really appreciated that it is working to the farmers.
Esther is not just a local farmer in Zambia, she's international. She has traveled. So we'll come to the end of this session. Thank you so much for sharing with us all the beautiful stories on how the different innovations that the AICCRA program will end here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, insightful, wasn't it? Another round of applause as they take a picture. Wonderful. I was just sitting next to an amazing young lady, and I'm going to embarrass her a little bit and ask her to stand. Judy, do you want to stand? Please stand. Now, Judy is a university student that is studying development studies, but also has some agriculture to some of her subjects. And she actually has an assignment. And when she saw the poster online, she decided to register to come and hear practical solutions, hear practical stories, actual stories of innovation and about climate-smart agriculture. And guess what? She says she's going to ace that exam, or was it paper, that she's going to do tomorrow. Please, let's give her a big round of applause. So thank you for being here. Real impact, real innovation, real conversations happening here today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we were all given a little paper. I think you all saw this little paper there. If you're like me, who does not understand what virtual reality is, I just see my kids going and putting on these big VR goggles and screaming. So I've always thought it's used to just scare people. So I've never, ever used it. But today, I'm told that is not what they're only used for. And right now, we're going to watch a trailer of a video that you're going to be able to watch in full when you connect to Nicole, who's on my right, on my left. And later on, she's going to move downstairs during lunch. So it will also be a working lunch. You can eat, but go on, put on the goggles, and watch the full video that's going to be trailered right now. So let's turn our attention to the screens.
The experience in the field was surreal. I think we had so much positive energy, so much goodwill, so much great feeling from the farmers, people who've really benefited from the work of AICCRA. It was good to experience firsthand what the impact of the project has been, particularly in that part of Zambia where poverty is rife and people are really, really struggling to get by. There's no better setting or place for us to showcase and demonstrate the impact of what climate-smart agriculture can do in a country like Zambia.
The AICCRA Zambia Accelerator Program is designed to scale climate-smart agriculture technologies and to enhance climate information.
Our knowledge came from Kasakarawe as a cooperative. We are trained there how to look after the fish, how to construct the fish ponds. Then we are beneficiaries of that now.
I think the farmers themselves were so keen and eager to tell their stories, and they were so inviting to let us in their space so that they can share with us the experience that they've had with AICCRA. It was a real genuine privilege to be able to be part of the team that was documenting the story. The other bit that was also very exciting was that we were taking this technology and we're trying to tell a story in a different way.
But with the private sector coming in to invest in smallholder agriculture, we have seen a greater transformation. We have seen a lot of changing.
We also promoted a number of technologies which included using greenhouses, circulatory HRE systems, and so on.
Greenhouse, which AICCRA brought at the result of its innovation, working together with wild fish, imu, and so on and so forth.
Hopeways as a fish archery and a fish farm, where I want to show you what we are doing.
And we are selling fish feed in our shop.
Our partnership with AICCRA is very significant for us. It's very important for us to ensure that we can help the farmers have access to fingerlings by accelerating our production.
Why did we want to do this virtual of all the true impact that AICCRA has had across all the spectrum?
because of the remote nature of the work and how far-flung these areas that we often operate in. The beauty of a virtual field trip was that we could take the field and bring it to the people. For those who are not able to, and telling and sharing the positive experience that AICCRA has had on the lives of the farmers and how it's changed the core face.
I've been leading the Internship Innovation Grant program. This is a program where we build the capacity of young youths, the young minds, through.
And our dream is to really change the world one snack at a time.
What I truly like about our intervention, what it currently is.
The people, theatre by the people, and theatre with the people.
More importantly, the partnerships that have been built, the relationships that have been forged as a result of this intervention will continue to exist long after the life of the project. And that's what's truly exciting, the sustainability of the nature of the work that we've done through AICCRA.
So, I love learning about new technologies, and today I have now found out that just by putting on those goggles, I can go back home and tell my husband, listen, I went to Northern Province today. Like, I actually visited a farm, 360 degree, I saw everything that was happening. And of course, he'll think I'm exaggerating like I normally do, but this time I won't be. So make sure that you do watch the full video that is on offer there. Now, as we wrap up today's powerful conversations and insights, it's only right that we close with someone who's been a guiding force in this space, both here in Zambia and beyond. Please welcome the Director of Water, Growth and Inclusion at the International Water Management Institute, Inga Jacobs-Mata. Over to you for our closing reflections.
Thank you. Actually, give it a full. It's lovely to be here with you today. My name is Inga Jacobs-Mata, and it started officially in 2021, but the preparatory work happened 2 years before. So we were designing AICCRA different, or very different to them. It was difficult to be an SME. Could tell a success story. And today, being part of this public forum and hearing such dynamic stories like Green Giraffe and others who have partnered with us, but also reshaped the agri-food system in Zambia. It's really inspiring. So please give yourselves a round of applause. It's really nice, all the AICCRA Zambia partners. Can I please ask you to stand up if you have worked on AICCRA Zambia as an SMS, if you've worked on AICCRA that we can be proud of. So please give them a round of applause. We acknowledge and salute everything that you have done these past 4 years. Okay, so as we close now, I'd like to call up to the stage all the countries in Africa. I'd first like to call up Dr. Robert Zugmore, who is the Director for Africa. Please join us. For those of equally dynamic. Thank you. You're very welcome. I'd also like to now introduce Viviana Perego, who is the top. Very welcome. In Zambia, but also how it compares to some of the other countries. How many of you know how many countries we work in Zambia, under AICCRA? Anybody want to shout out, take a guess? Focus countries, core countries. Okay, I'm here, exactly. There are 6 countries that we work in, although the work spills over into many more. But there's 6 core countries, and Zambia is the only Southern Africa country that we work in. Work in Southern Africa. And it's also quite unique because it has a very strong focus, as you've heard, on the private sector. So if we put some dedicated effort into supporting SMEs, our scaling impact can be so much bigger. The other thing to note that I think was quite unique about AICCRA in Zambia is that farmers were not beneficiaries. As you heard from Esther, the investor in the ag is without agency. They are, so we really need to listen and take Also to mention about AICCRA, not just in Zambia, but also across, is how we bring different innovations together. And start, Robert, with you, please. Any partners, diverse partners, what are some of the key lessons that you see emerging across all of the countries? Bring Zambia into the broader AICCRA discussion for us, please.
Thank you very much, Inga. I think you responded already to this question, but remember that when we were starting AICCRA, you as the Zambia cluster lead, you kept focusing on the private sector. And now I was always questioning, why are you really focusing on the private sector? I don't understand. Can learn and even benefit other African countries. And you mentioned it clearly. I think one of the uniqueness of the Zambia cluster is able manner. You know, all the knowledge of these multiple centers. I don't want to cite them, but coming together to put some innovation packages that speak to climate smart agriculture and to climate information services, I think it is something unique that me as the AICCRA director, I will definitely try to leverage and make sure providing this at Zambia. So a national organization, research organization can really work with the national partners and go beyond, you know, our traditional, you know, and famous area of to go to scale. So for me, this is something definitely worth taking as a...
To ask one more follow-up question, because from X, we need to move to use. We need to look at how they are adopting these innovations. Say a little bit more about that, please, Robert.
You said it, Inga. So one thing is to access to and use it, because to use it, there is a need for additional steps to capacitate the beneficiary to be able to have a means. So in AICCRA, during the additional financing in particular, we have tried through a number of mechanisms being built currently. We have tried through a number of mechanisms being built currently in Eastern from the world, disseminate our innovation and to continue promoting fully private-led business model as well.
Thank you. Thanks for that.
Private-led business model as well.
Thank you. Thanks for that. And of course, it's not how, from your view, can we link better with country programs?
Scale is critical for a path. Know that after cost efficiency that can work here to for the impact that they methods Africa is covering several, at least two Israeli spearheading in the country, for example.
Thank you. So if we really want to work with other programs like this, where to from here? Where do we go from here? In 10 seconds.
If you want me to, if we look at this room, there is big potential, and I believe here in Zambia we have a robust evidence that the private sector can play a key role in a very transparent and ethical programs to take care of that, our mother country can also benefit from it. Our mother country can also benefit from it. Thank you.
Excellent. So, Mwiche, next time when we have our public forum. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Vivian. Thank you, Robert. Vivian.
Well, Robert has already said a lot of the things that I wanted to. Well, Robert has already said a lot of the things that I wanted to say. But if I have to add two, the first is individual experiences that we've seen so far achieve impact at a larger scale. So that's one that is real. So that's one that is really key. And the second one is a project for African actors Even in the institutional side here, we have talked a lot. Even in the institutional side here, we have talked a lot about the private sector. We really want to about the private sector. We really want to empower them even more. We want to empower them even more. We want to support that achievement of scale, but also really strengthening even more the partnership with African national and regional organizations for them to be elements of change and drivers of change alongside the CGIAR.
It's really encouraging. Thank you. So there you have it, folks. We are far from finished. Our job is still long, long ahead of us as we work to transform transform agri-food systems. And we look forward to the partnerships that we built up over the past several years to continue to achieve that scale that Viviana has challenged us with. So with that, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Lulu, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Another round of applause for them. While they take a picture, what a day it's been. From frameworks to field stories and science to storytelling, we've covered so much ground today, haven't we? The coffee it's out of your system now, eh? We are about to eat. Don't worry, there's food for everyone. So give me some energy, huh? Give me some energy. So to every farmer that's in the room, every student, thank you for showing up, for leaning in and for being part of this hosting with AICCRA. And I think we're going to make it a little tradition. I feel we need to document this moment, right? How many of you came here today not really understanding what you were coming for, but you've connected to somebody new? I'm going out there. I'm going to be smarter. I'm going to connect. I've found someone to help me grow. How many of us have found that in this room today? I love it. Yes, yes. We're going to like the energy. We're going to take a selfie. I'm going to ask, okay, so first I just need to make sure I have the right angle. Okay, this seems great. So I'm just going to ask the first row, if you could just gather a bit closer. I'm going to try to move to this side, but this is going to. Okay, so. All right, so 3, 2, 1. We're going to scream "Ready to scale," and let me put the timer on. Let's go. 2, 1. Ready to scale. Okay, that was a bit too slow. 2, 1, go. Fantastic. Today we have stand up. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Woo! Thank you for being here today. Now, as you leave the room, don't forget, we've got that beautiful video on VR. We're going to Northern Province through that video, remember? It's going to be available downstairs. You can watch it. But also, don't stop retweeting. Don't stop posting about today. Don't stop connecting. There's lots of information on the AICCRA website that you can get. At the door, we are going to be handed over some vouchers, okay? There's some vouchers that are going to be handed over to you for lunch. My program said that we should end at 13 hours. Guess what time it is? A great job. It's 12:57, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so on this side. All right, so please, let's leave through this. Please stand by the door. To the usher, please stand right by the door. So on the 2 doors, we can also leave through my